All right, so we're going to continue discussing relative extrema. And one thing I want to mention is that critical points don't always yield relative maximum or minimum, relative minimum. So this is what happened back in Cal 1. Just because you have a critical point doesn't guarantee that it's a relative max or a relative min. Same thing here. And I'll mention that in our case, we have some critical points yield what are called saddle points. Which are neither relative maximum nor minimum. So you should look in your book. There's a really nice picture of what a saddle point is. I'm not going to try to sketch one out here, but you can, think of it as looking like a saddle that you would put on a horse. So that seat of the saddle is not a maximum because the saddle goes up. And it's also not a minimum because the saddle goes down on the sides. So really here's our issue, is that we want to know when our relative maximum and minimum occur. And we can use critical points to help us, but they don't always give us the relative maxes or minimums. And so we need something else to help us, and what steps in and saves the day is something called the second partials test. So I'm going to state what it says. It says, let f have continuous second partial derivatives on an open region containing a point AB for which fx and fy at your point is 0. So this is a critical point where your partial derivatives are 0. And so now we're going to test for relative extrema of f. Consider the following value d, which is going to be defined as your second fxx AB fyy minus fxy so this value d is really important. It's a formula using your second partial derivatives where you plug in your point, and here's going to be the conditions of the test. So if d is bigger than 0 and fxx is less than 0, then f has a relative minimum at the point AB. If d is bigger than 0 and fx is less than 0, then f has a relative maximum at the point AB. The third condition says if D is less than 0, then the point AB, f of AB, is a saddle point. Okay, so I have a saddle point. D is less than 0. And if, finally, if D equals 0, the test is inconclusive. So if D equals 0, we can't make a conclusion. So what's nice is this is gonna help us determine where we have relative extrema occurring.